Fans, welcome to Sports Chat from the League. The dead period is officially over. The Cougars are in 7-on-7 football action. The other sports are starting to get their practices and camps on.
Yeah, there are camps going on for football at Jacksboro, I think, right now.
Next week's Jacksboro.
Next week, Jacksboro football camp. The Cougars, as I said,
Boys basketball camp.
multiple 7-on-7s, and starting, I think, is it next Monday?
Is Cougar
Basketball camp. Go up and sign up, I think, around 8 in the morning. It's for kids ages, I believe, 5 to 15. Go work on your fundamentals, work with Cougar coaches, Cougar players. You know, teach the kids to get a little bit better at the game and, you know, hone their skills. It's good, it's fun. It's $50 a person. It's I think a 3-day camp.
It is, and yeah, you're going to get to work with Matt Housley. He played in college. He's coached here for several years. Darren Gillenwater, who's signed to play college ball, will be here. There's a lot of good players.
It's a good camp, and you know, I strongly recommend anybody participate in it. Say it'll build, you know, your career, you know, as a basketballer. You get better. That's all it's about. You get better in the off season. This is a good way to get better. If you're an elementary school player, if you're a middle school player, even if you're planning on going after the high school team next year, if you're a freshman, sophomore level, it will help you get your skills better. You know, you're going to learn the fundamentals of the game. Be very key to get that down, to get where you need to be on screen, to get where you need to be on defense, ball handling, proper form for your shot, help you correct your shot. And as kids need to learn that stuff, and this is a good opportunity for you to get out and learn it. So you can contact Coach Housley, the Cougar basketball Twitter. If you look at it, it's up there. It's on the volunteer times, the schedule, and the pricing for the show or for the camp. So come out, check it out. See your kids up there. It's a good way for them to spend a few days in the summer. You got 4 weeks, basically 5 weeks before school starts back. That's a good way for them to spend a few days and, you know, teaching them some valuable basketball skills and making them more prepared to play on their various teams throughout the fall and winter.
And Eagle football camp. I think a great fundamental program. It's for basically kids middle school age and lower. They teach fundamentals, footwork, blocking, pass routes, ball handling. And I got to say this about it. There's a certain somebody who last couple of years after camp's over, has went and told everybody that all they did at that Jacksboro football camp was work out their players. They just ignored the other kids. That is not true. I've been to this camp many times over the years. Everybody gets work. What happens is at the end of the camp, they play what's called Eagle ball. And they actually take their 8th graders out of the camp. They don't let their 8th graders play Eagle ball. They actually work on that. But your kids, be they 5, be they coming up to Jacksboro in a year or so, are going to get equal treatment. And, you know, and the person who did this is not, you know, she lives here, but she won't send her. I guarantee her kids will not go to school. I know this person. I know that she just has something against her because she has family that coaches in another camp.
There's always a squeaky wheel in any situation, but it's a good camp, good coaches in Jacksboro.
Coach Peel, Coach Webb, Derek Turner played for me. You know, I'm very happy to see him coaching.
You know, Webb, not a better kicking coach around, in my opinion, than Scott Webb. He's really good at it. Gustavo's the most prolific kicker in the history of Cameron County High School now. And Coach Webb worked throughout middle school. It's going to be fine. I mean, Coach Peel's coached a lot of great kids over the years.
He played on national championship team.
He played very high-level football. So, I mean, they're great guys. So, you know, the camp's going to be fine. And have no worries about all that sending any child down there. And they'll get good instruction, and they'll get personal instruction. And that's whatever rumors, people are going to say stuff. That's just the way it goes sometimes. But it's a good, solid camp, and you won't regret sending your kid down there.
Of course, you know, there's a lot of other stuff going on. Like we talk about football a lot. Volleyball, golf, cross country and girls soccer, all back to practice.
Oh, they're all back practicing already. I mean, like I say, it's here. It's just, I think, 6 weeks until football season starts, basically. And that'll fly by. Once 4th of July holidays are over in the high school sporting world, it's time to go. It's time for practice to come back. And it's boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, it's going to be that first game. First game at the middle school. You're going to have jamborees at the middle schools. You're going to have your first meet some Saturday morning at the Covert State Park. Cross country's going to be up running. The volleyball's going to be up there. So they're up there practicing all the time. And people don't see that a lot, that all these sports, basically you have a bit of a dead period. And even though even sports that aren't started yet, their official practice time, you can't officially be practicing. The coaches can't really give instructions sometimes in certain periods, but the players will still get together and play and practice all the time. It never stops. And these coaches work 11 and a half months of the year, basically.
That 2 weeks of dead period is all some of them get off.
I mean, some of them coach multiple sports. It's just demanding. And
you have the Chris Suttons who coach track and basketball.
Sutton has his hands full. I mean, you look at him, he's dealing with, I guess, 70, 80, maybe even 90 athletes in a given season and coaching 2 different seasons. That's tough. He's got a couple of assistants, but he doesn't have the number of assistants that football has for that. Football is actually hired some new assistants.
Right, and you got Michael Kane, who coaches basketball for fall and golf at high school.
Yeah, I mean,
so these coaches get very little work.
It's very
Rebecca Mongard, bless her heart, spent most of her season improving the facility. And you're going to see a great new softball facility. I'm very happy for those girls.
For new softball facilities, new football stuff is being built again. The gym was getting refinished on the floor. Hopefully they can get some scoreboards in for the gym. That's been talked about. There are improvements going on everywhere. It's through a lot of hard work for a lot of coaches, and it makes things better for the students and better for the kids.
This is not necessarily an improvement. This is a big deal. And I think it's already in place. I know it'll be in place by basketball season. Is they've renamed the court at the Fall Middle School after Vic King, and it should be on the court there. And nobody coached at the Fall longer than Vic.
Vic was very successful, won several East Tennessee championships, so he deserves his name being on the court. Now we also, as we mentioned at the first top of the show here, that Campbell County has started back 7-on-7. Not a traditional, 7-on-7 like they run in some places, at least yet. I mean, in some places the 7-on-7 leagues are literally you're playing a game. It's just 7-on-7. You don't have linemen and it's touch, but you're actually playing a game, scoring, moving up and down the field, doing all that. This 7-on-7 the Cougars participated in so far, just a practice format. Receivers and quarterback, it's a way for them to get their timing down. And that's the most, I guess you'd say, the hardest part of most offenses and everything is getting the quarterbacks and the receivers on the same page and timing. It takes a lot of throws. And this just is some sort of semi-game action against the defense that's not your own. And you get to run your routes, you get to catch your passes, throw the ball, see what your quarterback looks like.
It really
against
helps.
A live defensive back.
It really helps against defensive backs you're not familiar with. Once you've played against each other and practiced against each other so much, you know each other. You can see those little shifts. You know what people can do. You put a fresh group of DBs and receivers against each other, though, and it's Katie Walker.
Now, not heard officially what the diagnosis is. Jacob Bunch appeared to get a pretty bad injury up there. We're not sure exactly what it is, but hopefully it turned out not to be as bad. But as of the game the other night, it looked like he may miss some time this season. And that's unfortunate because he's a really good wide receiver and going to be counted on pretty
He would be
heavily.
a big contribution. We didn't get to see Seth Roberts in this one against Halls because he's looking like a national fishing tournament.
Yeah,
Seth is a very successful fisherman for the high school as well as a football player.
But so they have Tuesday night against Catholic at 6 p.m., another 7-on-7. Thursday, Powell comes to town.
They come
10
in the morning.
At 10 a.m. in the morning, Powell will be here. At 6 p.m. there's another 7-on-7. That's Oneida comes to Campbell County.
And Coach Lambert usually has a really tough squad at Oneida. And of course, he knows the price of what he coached.
We'll see if it evolves into more game-like action as it goes. It may just be practice, but it's still good to come out
I'll
and
be
watch
honest,
it.
I'd be stunned if it's not game like against Powell. I know Rodney likes to do game situations.
Well, they went through it. Well, they went to Powell this morning, but they were at Powell, and we'll see how that went later. We'll talk to Coach Price about it. So he's still evaluating the quarterbacks. We'll see who's going to win the battle between Lay, Bowman, Rutherford. I think it'll be one of those three.
I tell you, Rutherford, he had a pass, and again, I know it's 7-on-7. He had a really pretty touchdown.
Yeah, he threw a long bomb down the field. Mostly, though, as I said, it was a lot of short passing, a lot of working on routes.
And I'll say this about 7-on-7. Rutherford's for sure going to look better than Lay because you can't run the ball. And Lay has that toughy shoots. I will beat you with my legs and my arm. Whereas Rutherford is more of a
And a
Ethan
7-on-7,
Jeffers.
yeah, Rutherford's going to, it's hard to compare anybody to Ethan, but Rutherford looks to be more, especially throwing the ball down the field. He looks a little more steady doing that right now. Lay looks a little bit better rolling out, throwing the ball, and if he has to, tucking it, getting up the field with it, and just turning out yards for a first down. It's just a different style of quarterback. It's a one style. Both move the ball pretty effectively. We'll have to see how it shakes out. I mean, I know Coach Price, he would love to have just a settled, he would love to see one of the guys run away with the job. But we'll see. Right now they're looking like they're competing neck and neck for it.
Speaking of Ethan Jeffers, he's, from what we were saying, has gone up and really impressive at Moorhead State.
Yeah, their strength and conditioning coach mentioned to him that he is the strongest quarterback they've ever had there. And Ethan's a 17-year-old freshman in college. Not even quite made it to his freshman year yet. And he bench presses more than any quarterback they've ever had in the program, and that guy's 15 years as a strength and conditioning program. That includes seniors and all that. I mean, Ethan came in, the coach told him that you're going to be fifth on our depth chart when you get here. You use that mentality. What are our reports we've gotten from Keith, his father, has some really good practices, and he's moved from fifth to third on the depth chart now. That's behind a junior and a redshirt sophomore who's 6'5" and 240 pounds. So we'll see where Ethan goes with it. I can't doubt him. After we watch him play, we watched him play since he was in 7th grade.
Actually, what makes me not doubt him the most is not on the field. It's his dedication off the field.
I say he's very dedicated. That's the package you got with Jeffers. I feel some larger school missed out on him by not taking him on. He's a smart kid. He got a 4.0 GPA. If Ethan had been 6'4", any college in the country would be trying to sign him. But I don't really get the mentality 6'1", 220. Drew Brees is 6'1", maybe he's 6 feet tall or 5'11". Russell Wilson's 5'11". I mean, guys can play. They can play the game. And they get it done. Ethan gets it done and put up the big numbers.
But also
we'll see. Moorhead State. I say that's a good school, good football, good quarterback.
And I expect to hear a lot from Nick Bailey, Carson Denver this year too.
And Nick should be moving up and starting.
Nick, I see seeing a lot of game time this year.
He's been. I've seen it a lot. He was at the games Tuesday night at the 7-on-7. He's a great player. He's got a great motor, strong guy, dedicated worker himself. So I have no doubt that come this fall, Nick will start getting his name called, and he will start getting on the lineup after his freshman year, and as he moves up the ladder. Played for a legend, basically. Probably a guy that's going to be in the College Football Hall of Fame at some point.
And of course, he'll be cranking up their fall practice real soon.
Freshmen are already there mostly. A lot of them in the summertime, but the official freshman report is in about 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. It's early August, and that would be fall practice will start like 2 days later. And, big season. The expectations keep rising and rising and rising for Tennessee. I'm still looking at a 7-5, 8-4 type season. Hope it's better than that. I can see 9. It's going to be tough to get a lot more wins than that, in my opinion, because the team is stocked with talent. It's got 4 and 5 stars everywhere on the field right now. But they're 4 and 5 star freshmen and 4 and 5 star sophomores, and that just makes a big difference. And Tennessee's going to play a tough schedule. I've said it 100 times on the show. I'll have to see Dobbs prove that he can actually effectively throw the ball, and I'll be a full believer in Dobbs being as good as he looked for a few games last season. You know, a lot of quarterbacks can come in and look good for a few games, but once you get a year of defensive tape on them and can start working towards and scheming against them, they're not as effective. And Dobbs, he struggled throwing the ball. He only completed in the mid-50s% on his passes. You got to throw it better than that. You need to get up around 60, 65% as a quarterback. And that's very good. And you have the elite quarterbacks, 68, 69%, maybe even 70% in college. Dobbs needs to get in that 65% accuracy range, make good decisions with the ball. He still threw a few interceptions last year. He really shouldn't have. But, you know, he's getting older now. Obviously, he's at genius level smarts with his astrophysics and all that stuff he's going through. So we'll have to say, I have to see him develop. And I'm going to. I saw Tennessee pick 14th in the country in a couple of polls. I think that's a little high, but we'll see. I think they're favored now, probably in the first games all the way up to the Georgia game. Favored over Florida already. Favored over Oklahoma by 3 points, was kind of surprising.
Shocking.
So we'll see what it goes. I mean, if Butch can actually win on the field the way he's winning in recruiting, then we might have the next Nick Saban on our hands. That's how well he's recruiting. And let's see where it goes. So that's all you can do.
Fans, that wrap it up for the day. We'll see you next week on Sports Chat. Stay tuned for a big interview with the Raw and Real Express's Ricky Morton.